What a beautiful morning.
At participating McDonald's for a limited time, single item and regular price. Inside the train testing facility, our heating and cooling products go through endless torture tests. Be confident, slightly against the wall.
Okay, so this spot right here, those of us from the salt life know that when you see two markers, that's generally a channel marker and you go in between the two markers. Well, up here on the lake, that's not the case. These two markers apparently mark a mountain underneath the lake. And the water goes from about 129 foot to about 5 foot, 4 foot, very fast. I wish I'd have had a camera on my face when I looked over the side. Luckily, when I got to it, something didn't seem right, so I slowed down and I went to the outside. Thankfully, I did, because when I looked over, I was looking straight in the ground pretty much. But yeah, if you're going through there, do not go between the two markers. Man, do those folks have a view. See a couple of houses up there on the mountain. That little point out there marks the North Carolina-South Carolina line. That mountain's in North Carolina. Side of that mountain, South Carolina. Beaver Dam up there in North Carolina. Alright, just a little information on where we're at. This is Lake Jocassee, South Carolina. This 7,500 acre lake. It's 300 plus foot deep, but it averages about 185 foot throughout. It's that deep lake. It was built in 73. They put in a dam. It's 380 foot high and 1,750 foot wide. One of the cool things is, if you know the movie Deliverance, the Mount Carmel Cemetery is in that movie. That cemetery currently resides under this lake. They shot that movie before they flooded the lake. Yeah, Jocassee receives, this area is actually a rainforest. It actually receives 100 plus inches a year. This lake stays pretty full. This is one of the only rainforests east of Washington State. So, pretty neat area. Such amazing plant life. Really neat place. So the name Jocassee is supposed to be from an old Cherokee legend of a maiden, like a lost love deal, and it actually means place of the lost one. I don't know. There's debate on that, but this area was part of the Cherokee towns, where they used to actually, this all back here was the frontier, and they would bring in deer hides and furs down through Greenville and then down to Charleston. It was a major trading area for them. Okay, so one of the things I never really understood about this area here, you got jumping off rock. It's a really neat place. You come in at Shooting Tree off Roy Jones. It's an old logging road. It's pretty rugged. You pretty much have to have a four-wheel drive. But you come up and you got a beautiful view overlooking the lake. But they call that area the horse pasture. Now I never understood that because it is steep up there. There's not really any pasture there. There's a couple of little dove fields up there that you can hunt. That's all a management area that can be hunted, but it is steep. Well, it turns out that the horse pasture is actually underneath us. It's at the bottom of the lake. Now, there's two different versions of how it got its name. The first version is that during the Civil War, when Sherman was doing his march through and destroying and burning and taking everything, that the people of South Carolina brought their horses and livestock up here and hid it. That's a neat story, but the other version is that the Cherokee Indians used to hide their stolen horses up here, which is probably more likely, seeing as back a long time ago they did doing the survey, they found an old map that dates back to about the time Sherman was born that had this place listed as horse pasture. So more than likely it's the first version, but either way, they call that horse pasture, but you sure ain't no pasture up there. But at least now I understand. It always confused me. I know, I'm weird. This is an actual photo of the valley before it was flooded to make Lake Jocassee. At the bottom of the lake sits the Atacula Lodge. It was a lodge and girls camp that actually sits intact 300 foot down at the bottom of the lake. The reason the building sits intact is most of the stuff was all destroyed and the trees and stuff were cut before the lake was flooded, but since they actually did not sell them the lodge until after the lake was flooded, they couldn't tear it down. Divers do go down there. I got this picture from JoCassieRemembered.com. There's actually some pretty neat stories on there about some of the folks that used to live there.